Okay. Let me check my bit rate, make sure everything matches. It doesn't. It does. Okay. Should audio clipping the audio? Crackling sound. Hang on. Figure out what's going on. Does that fix it? Does that fix the audio right there? Let me know if that fixes it right there. Is that better? Yeah, let's play one we haven't played in a while. See if we can remember how to do it. I don't remember if we do or not. I'm using the Axe-Fx today, so I don't have any switching. No channel switching. This is just going to be doing it as we do it, right? So it's just playing the ball where it lies. So let's see. Which one do I want to do that I haven't done in a while? Maybe reach. Let me know if you're hearing this audio right here. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Turn on this mic. other than being greeted by my dog and knocking the rust off of it, I don't know how that sound mix is going because I'm using a different setup today, just kind of playing through the Axe-Fx. So, yeah, it might be okay. It might be all right. Good enough for a live stream and hanging. Yeah, the dog's the best, right? Man, buddy, what can I help you with today? I know. This is Kari. She's interrupting the live stream today, which is nice. Can you sit down just for a little bit so we can do this? Just give me just a little while. That'd be great. That'd be great to do that. Okay, so we had a great big show on Friday night, and that was the hometown, like, end of the year show right there in Knoxville, Tennessee. And man, it was special. We brought in a big bunch of production, and buddy, I mean, I don't know what's going on. I can't help you right now. If we've got, this is going to be a world's first here if we've got an emergency, which means I will put the guitar in the chair and return if I've got to deal with a dog who has to go. And is nature calling? Is that the thing? I mean, yeah. All right, guys, if you'll just hang tight here, I'm gonna have to let the dog out, which is incredible. I've never done this. So if you'll just let the dog out, I'll put the chair. I'll put the guitar in the chair, and let me let the dog out real quick. This is pretty incredible. Okay. Do you need to go or are you not? Are we doing this? Can you not go? All right. We're going to have to do this. I'll be back. Let this right here. I will return. You have my word. Talk amongst yourselves. Come on. Go. right, that's a first, and I'm glad we did it because we could have had a catastrophe on our hands. Sorry for the interruption in the regular scheduled programming. Yeah, you can't script that. You can't script it. All right. Now, I don't even know where we were. I don't even know what we were talking about. Okay. Try to pull my thoughts back together. Okay, so we had the Big Bijou show. That was Friday night. And throughout the week, I was prepping in different ways. And on the Patreon, my man Josh asked a really good question, which was, what's the difference in prepping for a gig and a show? What goes into each? And really what he wanted to know was how he could improve his prep time and rehearsals with his band. So I thought that might not only make a great topic for the Patreon, but I thought it might be really great to kind of talk to you guys about how you can improve your gigs, have smoother transition from rehearsal to gig to show, and allowing the show to be something that's fun and enjoyable, and you're not stressing and worried about your overdrive pedal or your string gauge or all these things that you don't need to be worried about when you're putting on a show. The difference too between a gig and a show. Maybe that's a great place to start. Understanding the context of what your goal is and what you're trying to accomplish. If you're playing music with friends on, turn this down, get a little less echo. If you're playing music with friends on the weekend and you're playing the local Smoky Mountain Brewery type situation, or if you're playing at a fraternity house or the local Moose Lodge or any of these kind of things, and it's very much a bar gig, a club gig, there's some things that you can do that can help make those go smoother. You always got to make the decision first with your bandmates and try to involve the bandmates in as much as possible in what the production of the show is going to be like. Now, I know that sounds a bit like too much production of the show on a club gig. That sounds kind of silly, but it's not. If you maybe have a small little ProSonus and you carry your own in-ear rig, you can use modelers to great effect. There's a great band out of Nashville, my buddy Al's band, and they're called No Fun Intended, and they work up all these really fun medleys, and they'll do rock versions of a Taylor Swift song or whatever. They do just fun stuff, and they play club gigs. They're self-contained in their production. They roll their little rack unit in. It's probably about this tall. They roll that bad boy in, plug up the modelers, electronic drum kit or triggers, and they've got a great low stage volume, which is, super important when you're playing a club gig, because a lot of bar owners, man, they get upset if the stage volume's too loud. That's another thing, right? Is making sure that you're doing the right thing in the right room. If you play the Basement East, or if you play, it's a little bit bigger, but if you play the Baked Potato in LA, you can be as loud as you want. Those are blues clubs and rock clubs. The stage volume's kind of not a thing. But if you're playing a sports bar type of scenario, modelers can be great. However, let's get into the other side of it, where I was going with it with the band thing. Involving the band and making sure, this is tip number one, making sure everybody's on the same page of what you're trying to do. A modeler is great if everybody's on it, your bass player's using a Sans amp or something, you guys using Fractals or Kempers or whatever, all the sound being direct is super important. Now, you'll get yourself in trouble if you got half the band on a modeler and half the band's not. Half the band's direct, half the band's not. That's a problem. Figure out what you are on the front end of it. Now, that goes the same thing when you're doing a mega show and you're going to, like, dude, I had a SL68, two 412s, everything in stereo, like going gonzo, huge, crazy, gigantic tone. So the drum riser was up behind me and everybody had real amps and everything was a healthy volume. I don't think it was too loud, but it was very, very healthy volume, and everybody was fighting the same fight, right? Like, we didn't have the bass going direct with no bass stage volume. The only thing that didn't have a stage volume was the keyboards, right? So in that aspect, making sure that everybody's on the same page sonically. Now, let's get to part number 2. Make sure that the band is on the same page musically. Not just sonically. Sonically and musically are two different things, right? So sonically, by that I mean a tonal aspect. We're talking about the production. You're carrying in those little Bose sticks, or maybe the PA that goes on top of this thing, or you're going to plug into a house PA, right? Versus musically, making sure that you know the message of your gig and your show. When I play for Gary LaVox, it is all about Gary LaVox. Now, he lets me rip, and I love him for it. He lets me just play as much as I want, and he gets tickled. If I do something, he gets real tickled. He likes it. But I'm very aware that that gig is about Gary's vocals. Like, Gary's vocals are the superstar. We're there to play Life is a Highway and What Hurts the Most and Broken Road, and that stuff be the feature, okay? When we do, I don't know, like Skankbanger or whatever. Yeah, it's a guitar gig, and there's a lot of 80s shred stuff going on. We got the costumes and Steel Panther type thing happening, but it's still about the vocals, and the vocals are the number one thing. So one of the things that I always encourage, if you've got a gig like that's not, I don't mean like a 80s gig, I just mean a gig that's about the vocals. Let's say your typical cover band gig where you might cover Bob Seger, you might cover Brooks and Dunn or Morgan Wallen, you might cover AC/DC, right? It's all about the vocals, and you've got to remember that the more you fight that, the more problems you're going to have. How to overcome those problems with the vocals. Okay, number 1, make sure your vocalist knows how to sing in a microphone. This is huge. I know this sounds like no duh, but watch how many vocalists will sing over here, and sing up here, and it's like they don't know how to sing into the microphone. Be in the microphone when you're singing. The more distance you have on that microphone to your singer's mouth, the louder this microphone's gain has to be. The more it's going to pick up the feedback in the room, the more problems you're going to have. And now you're thinking more like a front of house engineer, but it's going to make your guitar tone better, right? Because you're going to fight this thing less. So when you're doing that, and you got your lead singer singing into the microphone like he should be, and the distance is really close and it sounds really clear, you got the vocals have the nice middle spot of the mix. Now, what I like to do is on almost every gig, I actually have it in all my boards. My boards are in flight cases right now because of the gigs and the shows, but my boards always have a 3.5 decibel boost on it. Okay, so this is just clean volume, right? So this is something that happens in my amps with effects loops, or the Reload 2 or the Fry-Up Power Station. This would be like the boost is happening after all of the gain. It's just making the whole thing go up 3.5 dB, and that's it. That way you can just step above the mix for the solo and come right back down. Now you haven't altered your tone, right? You haven't altered the tonal qualities of the guitar tone. You're just stepping it forward. It's just like saving that front of house guy who probably doesn't know your stuff. Like when you play at a club gig or you're playing at a any kind of scenario like that, your front of house guy probably doesn't know the material and doesn't know when your solos are going to happen or any of that type of stuff. Okay, so circumventing that by controlling your own fate and stepping on that boost. Now here, okay, look, the other side of this, guys, you have to be a grown adult. You cannot just step on the boost and just leave it on the rest of the song. You have to be aware that you're stepping into it, stepping out of it. This sounds like a no-duh, I got you, no shit Sherlock kind of moment, but it's like, how many people step on their boost, they just forget and they just leave it on. It's like now you've set the whole problem for everything. Again, it's like the microphone with the singer that doesn't know how to sing into it, stepping in and out. Okay, of those type of things. Those are things that will work on an arena stage. Like I do the same thing with Lavox or any of the how many bands or whatever acts. I still have this way that I want to control my own destiny on my guitar rig and make sure the front of house guy, I know where the solos are. He may not know, right? Or I may want just one little guitar fill to pop out and come back, right? So Guitar Sanctuary, even an EQ pedal doing more of a mid push will help you cut through without being like a slice of the boost. This is a great point. That's also, now you're altering the tone of the guitar, but that's a great way to do it, especially in high gain scenarios, because those mids will slice through, right? What I'm thinking of is kind of like if you're playing a ballad, like, what's a ballad that we do? Like, What Hurts the Most or These Days or something like that. That's where I'll just need just a little clean bump to step on a finger picking part and then come right back out of it and not alter the tone EQ of the guitar at all. So again, just a 3.5 dB bump. It's a great way to do it. XTS makes me a little pedal for one of my rigs that I use in Skankbanger that's just the 3.5 dB. Outside of that, I do it in the fractal units. The VP4, you can use the filter block. This is a fractal tip for you. You can use the filter block, set it to null, which means you're not doing any filtering whatsoever, and it's just a level, and it's just a 3.5 dB. It's just a level. Dustin Chang, how do you know if you're poking out or not, or if you're in ears and you mix yourself slightly above everyone anyways, as one does? Dustin, in my in ears, I don't mix myself above. I try to set my in general guitar tone to be like what the album sounds like in my ears, and then when I step on the solo boost, it steps me over it. Does that make sense? So a lot of guys aren't using any kind of level bump. So they just innately have their guitar louder than everything else. When you're using like a step up, a couple, like I said, 3.5 dB is a sweet spot. When you're doing something like that, you can set your guitar in your in-ears to be unity. And then that bump will just kick you up over it for the solos. So how to build, this is Tom right now, how to build good, entertaining, dynamic set lists, say for a cover gig, how many bangers, how many ballads, etc. So, okay, this is a great one because this is just building a great show, Tom. This is the second point I wanted to make. I'm going to change the wording of it, and then I'm going to reintroduce Tom's question here. My wording will be, what's the difference between a show and a gig? Tom is asking, how do you build a good, entertaining, dynamic set for a cover gig? How many bangers, how many ballads? The difference between a show and a gig there is the same. If I played a show of all ballads, it's going to have people falling asleep. If every song is Free Range Chicken, you can't do that either. So in my set list, when I'm choosing my songs, I'm not going to have every ripper song that I've ever written in there. It's not, the set list is not Chelmsford, Shredneck, Ricky and Cal, Truth and Lie, Elfin Man, Charisma. It doesn't go like that because now you're not building a good set. Try to think of it this way, Tom. When you're looking at your set list for a cover gig, A show is a show. So if you want to really engage the audience, something I love to do is that pacing aspect is not really about what the songs are. It's about how you're pacing it. At the Bijou, which was a big budget show, mega budget, 5-figure production spending, big budget show. With that show, I made sure that there was no talking in the first 4 songs. We went boom, walk on music, opener, second song, third song, thanks for coming out, fourth song, talk to the audience. Pacing things is more valuable than anything, right? So if you've got, let's say you got a cover gig and you're gonna try to introduce the. Another thing is like, what time is the cover gig? I'm gonna go with the downbeats at 8:30 or 9 o'clock. So maybe you're gonna play like a 9 to 12 kind of cover gig. Come out of the gate with some mid-tempo stuff that feels good, that like isn't too rocking. It isn't too, let's say in your set list you go as heavy as Van Halen and like Zeppelin. Like that's as heavy as you go. Judas Priest, maybe. Like Breaking the Law or Got Another Thing Coming. That'd be like one of your heaviest songs in the set. And let's say your lightest song in the set might be like an Eagles tune like New York Minute, right? Or Desperado. That might be like the softest. And you've got to deal with the middle of this. Open the show with something that feels good, that's grooving, like a song that I would put in that same set list would be, maybe you're going to cover some country stuff too, right? Like a song that opens the vibe of the show, maybe something rowdy and honky tonk ish, like Honky Tonk Women. Like I like that feels good. It's got that like, I'm going to butcher it because I'm not Keith Richards. Like that feels good, right? Like it's obviously I would not use that kind of tone, obviously, but that flow and vibe kind of sets it. So now if you came out of that and you went, maybe you could come right out of that and go. And you're not talking to the audience yet. See what I'm getting at? Is like you've played 2 songs and now you're going to play maybe one more. Maybe you play 3 songs and then you start talking to the audience. That pacing is so important. So that's the same thing that kind of happens on big stages, like with Gary LeVox. We do this year. Now, obviously, it changes a lot, but this year we opened with Fast Cars and Freedom, and we went into just like a mini medley. So we come out of Fast Cars and Freedom now. I see So you're rocking that thing, and then we end up into 2 Tickets to Paradise. Like we don't play all of it. It's just a little bit to get the crowd to be like, oh yeah, killer, is that like that kind of thing. That's universal. That's just building a great show. I don't care if you're going to see, a mega heavy band. They're going to pace their show and have the breaks and the moody stuff in between the heavy thrash stuff. And that's going to be the same thing that you'd even get at a jazz gig. If you open the show with an old bebop tune or some kind of older traditional tune, they're going to dip into the slower stuff and then go into the super crazy, giant steps, whatever. It's just learning how to pace your show is everything. So Max, my man Max, is a fantastic guitar player. He's saying, I'm about to hit the stage here on the ship. Intros, transitions, cues, vamps. The show is all about the main artist, but I too get to rip until my heart's content. Still keep it appropriate. Exactly. It's like finding your spot and your little moment in the sun and giving it there. But then the rest of the time, you're just trying to get the message across. Okay. Let's not spend too much time talking about that stuff. The next thing is, do you want to elevate your show? Visuals. Are you playing a club gig with your buddies? Do you look like you just got off work on the construction site driving a backhoe? My granddad drove a backhoe. I'm not dissing that. I'm just saying my granddad, when he got off the backhoe, was filthy, right? And then when he went to play bluegrass on Friday night, he was dressed nice and like looked good, and he had his suit on and like looking the part. I'm gonna quote him. He said he'd always tell me and Brian, boys, don't ever get up on the stage looking like you just walked out of the audience. And I love that. And to this day, that's why when I do a big gig, I usually, if I play with Gary, it's something like I kind of try to look like the Eric Church kind of thing, modern country, ball cap down, shades, denim jacket, whatever. When I do my stuff, it's the suit and the cowboy hat, and it's like a full deal. Now that doesn't mean one person looks like that, or just you have the whole stage looking like that. I mean, everybody's in a suit. Everybody looks nice. If you're going to have, a fun gimmick to your band, like maybe you all wear like overalls and look like, a mechanic, and it's got the name of the band. Like, make the show, whether you're playing at the Wild Wing Cafe or you're playing at the Enormo Dome and Rupp Arena, make your show feel good to the audience to where they feel like they're seeing something special. A lot of guitar players that I see on Facebook, Instagram, Guitar Center, when I go pop around Guitar Center, I hear nothing but belly aching from them. Nobody cares about live music anymore. And it's a lot of this poor, pitiful me stuff. And I notice a common thread. The band goes on stage and just plays songs. Like, that's not enough. Dude, look at ZZ Top in the 70s. They were wearing the nudie suits and the Manuels, and look at Van Halen. When they didn't have any money, they still looked crazy. Like, they looked different. And when people come into a restaurant, let's say I'm talking to you guys that might have that 8:30 bar gig Friday night, and you're going to go play the local bar, and it's a 250 seater. So it's like, it might be a packed house. Well, if you notice that people aren't caring, look around the stage. Does Jason playing the bass, does he just look like he just walked out of Target? Are you guys staring at your feet, not making eye contact with the audience? These things matter. Listen to me. We live in an era where, look right now, you can see me. I'm talking to you. The visuals matter. If I had this on mute and you could only hear me, it's not as good. Visuals matter in today's world. Care about what your group looks like going on stage. Care about how you talk to the audience and engage with the audience. This is what makes a live performance a live performance. You don't want to be treated like a background band? Stop presenting a background band to the audience. Like, that hurts to say, but it's the truth. Elevate your game. You want to be taken serious? Don't go out there in bright blue jeans that look like Uncle Pep wears, right? And then play a $6,000 PRS with a flame top. Now you're the meme. You know what I mean? Like, now you're the guy that's the meme. Like, I'm not saying that you have to dress like Tony Rice, who always wore a business suit, right? But look, man, when Brent Mason goes on stage, he's got the black t-shirt. It fits well. He's wearing like some black or some gray looking jeans. He's got the gray telly. Like, you're like, yeah, he knows he's going on stage. He looks like he's going on stage, you know. Even, you know, when Guthrie Trapp, he's got the flat bill hat, or like the, you know, the small hat. Kind of, sometimes he's wearing the specs. He looks good up there. Got the teal guitar with the dark clothes. Like, it looks nice. And you can elevate that all the way up. I'm a fan, obviously, of country music and country music culture and the Opry and the rhyming and all this stuff. I'm a huge fan of that. So, yeah, I like to wear a little bit dressier than most. That's what I like to wear when I do my thing. But when we do Skankbanger, a lot of people ask us how that thing got so big. It's because we don't treat it like it's a cover band. We treat it like it's a show. We spend money on productions and lighting and things like this. That goes back to getting the whole band to be on the same page as you, making sure you're working with like-minded individuals. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to get together, have a couple of beers, and play some music. That's a beautiful thing. I love it. I love to do it myself. I want to have more picking parties here. But don't put that on the stage at the cover gig at the brewery or the Wild Wing or whatever, and then be mad when nobody's paying attention to you. Like, if you're treating it like a background thing, it's going to be received by the audience as a background thing. You got to make people pay attention. That goes to this. Be prepared. Number 3, and I really want to drill this home. A lot of you guys hang out with me week after week, and we talk about guitar techniques and tone and everything that makes, you know, guitar playing. I want to scope out from that. Let's talk about being prepared. This is a dovetail to that. Not scoping out. This is a dovetail to it, where there is a difference between learning a song, practicing a song, rehearsing a song, and performing a song. That one song has 4 steps in its life cycle. You do number 1 and 2 by yourself. You learn the song by yourself. You practice the song by yourself. Learning is not practicing. You learn it first and you've got it in your head, but the second one is practicing it. That means, can you do it 10 times in a row without having a mistake? That's practice. That's the Steve Morse approach. Number 3, rehearsal time is with the band. We're not learning the songs and we're not practicing the songs. When you get to band practice, if you can't play the song all the way through, somebody in the band did not do their job. We had 1 day of rehearsals for my show, and then we did the show. I had some folks come in from Nashville, Tyra Sass on the keys, incredible. Chef's kiss, incredible keyboard player. He had never played with us. I didn't know, you know, anything about the guy or his playing or anything. I just knew that Mike Hicks said, "This is your guy," quote unquote. Mike's like, "Brother, this is your guy." We get to rehearsal. I start running the show. I'm like, hey, I tell everybody, I'm like, does anybody have any questions on the first 5 tunes? We're going to run the first 5 tunes with no breaks. That's how it's going to go. Okay. No questions? No? Okay. And then we start the show. If somebody's going to the wrong section, I'm not talking about a flub. Or, oh man, I hit the wrong, I'm talking about you're going to the wrong section. You quit playing because you don't know where you're at. That is an extinction level event. And that means that person has came at you in a way of they don't care about the gig. For whatever reason, they didn't care enough to do their homework on the gig. That's serious. We start Shiprock. We do Shiprock and we leave the 25th of January. I'm already listening to the material. Now, I don't know it inside and out. I haven't sat down with my guitar, but I'm already listening to it. After Christmas, I will be playing it and I will be learning it. Dude, that's 25 days ahead of it. That's what it is. Look, learning something, practicing something, rehearsing something, and performing something. So you're asking yourself, what is rehearsal? Did we play the song without mistakes? Great. Then it's done. No, it's not done. It's not. How do you have a clever ending? How do you have let me pull up a different tone and show you one of the little clever things we had that was really nice. This will work. Turn off some of this delay. Better. I like this gold plate reverb in the fractal. That sounds nice. Gold plate sounds nice. Yeah. So one of the tunes we did was a new Kennedy Wood Band tune called Just a Little Bit. And it's got this thing. And the song ends with, hey. Well, now at rehearsal, I said, hey, Tyrus, get me from the key of B flat on the 5 chord to D and give me some gospel chords and some stuff in between. He's like, okay, cool. So he starts riffing and it's beautiful. And so once he comes in, I said, all right, now tease me this. And we walked through the whole transition from one song into the... into People Get Ready, right? And People Get Ready has a lot of different versions. There's the Impressions version, there's a Jeff Beck version. I want maybe steal little nuggets from each, but I wanted it to be a Kennedy Wood version. So we work into that intro, and then Kimbro is like, hey man, we're gonna do that mod. I'm like, yeah, let's do the mod. But instead of walking up a half step, I said, let's move it up a whole step, because Dave Kennedy has incredible range. He's an incredible singer. I was like, yo, let's take him to the moon, baby. So we come up with this thing, and for the mod, B7 sus. Now this move and all of this orchestration happened at rehearsal. Rehearsal, you're coming together as a unit. Listen to me. You're coming together as a unit with your parts prepared, so now you can work on the show. Your goal is to work in this stratosphere, not down here trying to learn what chords. Hey man, is that what's the chords on the end of that? Is that 3 minor, 2 minor? I'm like, brother, we have a whole new problem. You don't know the turnaround? Like, we got a problem, right? Holding yourself accountable, holding each other accountable, that will allow you liberties like putting on a good show, key changes, being creative. When you get together, now you've got an opportunity where the drummer can come in the room and be like, hey man, I got this idea how we can get out of this song, go into this song. That's what rehearsal's for, kids. Now, what's it that? So that's on the small level. That's all the way up to the big level. Now on the big level, you're gonna start rehearsing with like production, right? Like lighting. That's a whole nother thing. A lot of times you'll end up playing the same song over and over in the same set, and maybe the band doesn't even need it, but we've got to do it because the lighting guys are working on something and they need to hear that same section over and over again. It's being on a team, man. Really kind of focusing to deliver those things that elevate the whole thing from dudes standing up there playing songs to a show. Listen, if Steve Vai walked on stage and played Steve Vai stuff and just stood there, he's still Steve Vai, but he's not Steve Vai. Steve Vai, for as great as he is as a guitar player, he's even better as an entertainer. If you don't like it, that's cool. You know, I'm not saying everybody has to like it, because some guys want to see B.B. King. But think about this. B.B. King was an entertainer. The Suits, Lucille, the Giant Band, the way he did his thing, that wasn't a guy up there just playing songs. Look, man, Stevie Ray Vaughan wore a kimono with a cowboy hat. Like, that wasn't haphazard. He's looking through his closet or at the thrift store going, man, you know what's going to set this off? That blue kimono. I need to wear that, right? It's just being aware that, like, you're out there doing something bigger than just playing songs. Now, if all you want to do is play songs, man, stay at home and play songs with your buddies and have some beers. I'm trying to tell you from the perspective of assuming that you guys want to have more people at your shows. You guys want to have a better time at your shows. You want to make more money at the gigs. Bring more. Deliver more. That's the difference. That is the difference maker. Musically, visually, production. Let me hit one last thing here. It's a quick one. Don't stand up there and tune between songs for 5 minutes. That dead noise, and you hear the glasses in the background clanking. Oh, man, yeah, well, we were going to come out tonight, but we went coon hunting on Wednesday. Like, dude, that is amateur hour. That's a great way for everybody to make $50. There's good money in cover bands. Dude, on Broadway, on Nashville, there's some serious money there if you're willing to go out there and work. But you've got to entertain. Now, look at this. You think Jelly Roll's going on stage? You biggest artist of the year this year. You think that dude's going on stage and he's just going to stand up there and there's going to be nothing in the background? Wrong. Allman Brothers, everybody's like, oh, you know, I can almost hear the YouTube comment section now. Well, Derek Trucks doesn't have to run around and dance and dress like Steve Vai. I'm like, no, he doesn't. But you know what's going on behind him? $30,000 in lighting. You go to see Tedeschi Trucks. If you went to see the Allman Brothers, crazy lighting. I mean, like all this. It's a production. That matters. It's not dudes standing there staring at their shoes. This is huge. This is huge stuff. All right. How to properly entertain is a science. Great MD tips today. Yeah. I mean, I've been the MD on some gigs, some big profile gigs when Scott Stapp and Creed split, and Creed did the remaining Creed guys, Mark and them, did Alter Bridge, and Scott did the Proof of Life tour. He did that record with Howard Benson. Phil X played on the record. Killer record. I was the MD on that tour. And the thing was like, am I going to go out there and play PRSs and play Mesa Boogie and wear a black t-shirt with a necklace? Am I going to basically be Wish brand Mark Tremonti? Absolutely not. I had to find the way that I look that elevated Scott. I had to make sure those songs were done right and paid respect to the original versions without just being a cheap copy, right? This is all of these kind of things that apply on this top level. A lot of guys that are coming up, or maybe older cats that are jaded and cynical, they're going, oh, you don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. I'm like, then you're not going to get the results you want. Like I said, man, if you're happy making $50 a gig, that's great. I want you guys to be able to go into a bar and negotiate $2,500 or $3,000 for a cover gig. No doubt in my mind. I mean, I promise you it can be done. It's done all the time, you know? But those bands that garner that, I mean, dude, look at, what's the band that I subbed for Pete? Classic rock show out of England. That they get 5-figure guarantees deep into the 5 figures. And I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't get a 6-figure guarantee every now and then. That band is legit. They fly a band halfway across the world, and they're playing covers. You tell me the difference and tell me it's not what I just sit here and told you guys. It's the same thing. They put on a show. They have great arrangements, and the songs are done perfectly. Just YouTube any of that stuff with Pete Thorne playing with Classic Rock Show. It is spotless. Yeah, so if they get, it's like they're going to get a $40,000 offer or whatever, $60,000 offer. That's cover bands. Josh is saying our singer is laser focused on us not having dead air. Your singer is a wise man. Don't ever let there be dead air. You don't have to do anything crazy either. Let's say you're coming from Shoot the Thrill. Shoot the Thrill is a... Right? And let's say your next song is Dire Straits. Oh man, Jeff over here just broke a string. Oh, Jeff got his string ready. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Be on your toes. Have things ready. Don't let that dead air be something where the band feels dead air and then immediately somebody's got to start talking into the microphone. Like, dead air doesn't mean talk. Dead air means, hey, we need to do something. Got a keyboard player? Give me some pads. I got to tune, man. My G's a little flat. And so a keyboard player going to give you some pads. Gibbles Paul 2001 says $125 a man is golden. Brother, you could easily you could put that at $300 a man. In Knoxville, Tennessee, absolutely. There's 2 bands here that make very good money that both started as just like a for fun thing. One is obviously Skankbanger. Like we don't play for cheap, but we put a lot of work into the show. We carry production. We carry guitar tech. We carry drum tech. Like we carry production. So when people will be like, hey man, how much are you? I'm like, it's this much money. Another band here in town is Smooth Sailor. They make great money. That's a yacht rock band. They all wear the leisure suits. They're throwing out the flower lays and stuff, and they're playing the Toto stuff, and it sounds great. Michael McDonald sounds great. It's a show. They got cocktails floating around on stage and the big silly-looking glasses. I mean, they make good money. Good money. So when you're thinking about, take an inventory on your last couple of gigs, how much did you get paid? Okay, now take an inventory on what you brought to the stage. And don't make an excuse saying, oh, it's just the local brewery over here. This is not really a stage. You've already said you're not worth it. You're telling yourself and telling me in the process that I don't have to pay you very much because it's not real to you. You go in there and put on a show, and that bartender that usually has a $9,000 night just made $17,000 because you guys had everybody partying and drinking. I promise you, my brother, you can negotiate another $1,000. You for sure can. It's on the table. The problem is entitlement. This is something that plagues the music industry, and it starts at the club level. It starts with people playing bars. They're entitled. They think that since they can play the Eruption solo note for note, it's like, brother, no. What else can you do? And I'm not saying it's you got to be juggling flaming chainsaws or anything like this, but it's the entertainment industry. And if you go into a bar, that club gig, and that club normally makes $9,000 on Friday night, and the night you played, and you did it 4 times in a row, you almost doubled their bar take. On the 5th time, you call the bar owner and say like, hey man, proof's in the numbers. We want another grand. Brother. That's the business. If you think it doesn't work like that at the MGM Grand and Caesar's Palace, you're crazy. You open up 2 weeks at Caesar's Palace and you sold it out in a heartbeat, I guarantee you go back to them and be like, hey, give us 10 more dates and I want X amount more. That's how Brooks and Dunn works. And it ain't no secret. It's just people don't want to apply it to themselves when they're not on the big stage. And then it's the disgruntled thing. It's like, how is MGK famous? How is, so-and-so famous that I don't like their music? It's not about that. Like, how often do you hear people complain about Taylor Swift? All the time. Everybody, and I'm just like, why? She goes out there and she does a thing that smashes, that connects with people. And it's done to the billionth degree. I mean, she's not Celine Dion as a singer, and she ain't Michael Jackson as a dancer, but I think she would be the first one to tell you that. But she can entertain, and she can connect with people. So she's worth $2 billion. It's like, I'm not saying the world revolves around either around money, but these are things that make a difference. They're the things that elevate you. They make your gigs better. They allow you to negotiate for more money. So now you have more money for guitars. You see what I'm getting at? We're trying to win so you can have more money for guitars and amps, right? And you got to remember that the high tide will indeed factually raise all ships. Take care of your band and invest in your band, vertically integrate in your show. Make sure the venue that you're going to work at makes more money than you when you play than them losing money the night that you play. Andy, will we see you at NAMM? I wish, my friend. I will be on Shiprocked. I'm the MD for Shiprocked, so I'll be doing that. So a lot of this kind of pep talk stuff, I hope this hits you good here at the holidays. I hope you guys have a lot of good Christmas parties to get to. I hope some of you guys are playing some good Christmas parties, and I hope these words stick with you and they help you elevate yourself to where you can negotiate more money. I hope they help you where you can connect with more people and get your music to more people and improve your show from top to bottom. Now, housekeeping, that's my speech for today. That's my thoughts. Thanks to my Patreon member, Josh, for the topic. Great topic. Okay, little housekeeping. Patreon.com/AndyWoodMusic for the live weekly masterclass. It's incredible. It's a great hang. That's where this stuff comes up. And also there's 600, 700 lessons on that thing. It's covered. There's so much stuff on that. So patreon.com/AndyWoodMusic. If you like the channel and you want a lot more. I have the AM4 here, finishing the bundle. All Patreon members will be getting these tones before anyone. Now, on that aspect, AndyWoodMusic.com. We got brand new shirts here for the holidays. The tone packs, backing tracks, transcriptions, lessons, all that kind of stuff. That's all at AndyWoodMusic.com. That also will have next year's tour schedule when we get that finalized and up and running as well. That I think I've list everything. Yeah, the tone packs, backing tracks, t-shirts, all that good stuff, all over at AndyWoodMusic.com. Now, anything else that I need to say? I won't be at NAMM. I'll be on Shiprocked. But I hope everyone has a great week this week. And if there's any of you guys that are going to the Dan Huff gig tomorrow night and you see me there, please say, hey, I would love to shake your hand and buy you a beer. That's going to be at 3rd and Lindsley tomorrow night. It's sold out. I'm super happy. He's my hero, and I'm happy for him to have a great guitar gig tomorrow night. It's so cool that he's like giving back to the guitar community as a player, and getting back into it. So yeah, that's going to be at 3rd and Lindsley in Nashville tomorrow night. It's going to be a good time. That said, everyone, take care of yourself this holiday season. I'm working on a little treat that I think is going to be fun for everyone. A little video here. It's going to be good. So that said, be blessed. Thank you guys that made it in to the Bijou Show. It was really spectacular. There's going to be more content on that soon. Talk to you.